Hello, you're watching weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I am your host, İlham Məmmədov. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. A signing ceremony for the Board of Peace Charter was held in Davos. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham attended the event. President İlham held a meeting with President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, in Davos. On January 19th, President İlham arrived in the Swiss Confederation to participate in the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. At Zurich International Airport, the head of state and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva were welcomed by officials. On January 19th, President İlham met with André Esteves, chairman of BTG Pactual, one of Brazil's leading investment banks and asset management companies, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos. President İlham touched upon Azerbaijan's macroeconomic stability and fiscal discipline, as well as its long-term development strategy. He emphasized that the policies implemented in this direction have positively contributed to strengthening the country's position as a reliable partner in international financial markets. The head of state highlighted that leading international credit rating agencies have further upgraded Azerbaijan's credit rating, elevating it to investment grade with a positive outlook. André Esteves spoke about the global geographical scope of his company's operations and its experience working with institutional investors. He provided information on the investment approaches BTG Pactual applies across various regions. It was noted that preliminary discussions have recently been held between the State Oil Fund of the Republic of Azerbaijan and BTG Pactual regarding potential areas of cooperation and strategic priorities, with dialogue continuing on matters of mutual interest. During the conversation, the sides exchanged views on global economic processes, the current situation in international financial markets, institutional investors' approaches to different regions, the investment climate in emerging markets, long-term investment strategies, and mutual investment projects. BTG Pactual, established in 1983, manages assets exceeding nearly $500 billion. President İlham met with Morten Derholm, Group Senior Vice President for Marketing, Communications, Sustainability and Public Affairs at Vestas Wind Systems. During the conversation, discussions focused on the company's operations in Azerbaijan in the field of renewable energy, particularly wind energy. They noted that there are good opportunities to expand the existing cooperation. Azerbaijan was highlighted as an attractive destination for foreign investors, with the parties hailing the favorable investment and business environment in the country. The meeting included an exchange of views on matters of cooperation between Azerbaijan and Vestas Wind Systems. The head of our state met with Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization. During the conversation, the parties fondly recalled their previous meetings. They emphasized the successful cooperation between Azerbaijan and the World Health Organization and highlighted Azerbaijan's support for the organization's projects in various regions of the world. In this context, they touched upon Azerbaijan's voluntary financial assistance to a number of countries during the COVID-19 pandemic. The meeting included an exchange of views on the prospects for cooperation between Azerbaijan and the World Health Organization. President Ilham Aliyev also met with Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, Group Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of DP World, one of the world's largest port operators. During the meeting, the sites hailed DP World's successful operations in Azerbaijan. The discussion highlighted Azerbaijan's strategic location at the intersection of major international transport corridors. The parties also reviewed recent projects aimed at developing modern transport infrastructure in the country and underscored the potential for expanding cooperation with DP World. President Ilham Aliyev met with Jacob Arup Andersson, Chief Executive Officer of Carlsberg Group, in Davos. During the meeting, the sides noted that a number of projects have already been implemented to ensure the production of fully locally sourced products. In this regard, discussions touched upon the operation of the barley malt processing facility in Imishli, which serves as a key raw material for beer production. They also stated that the production of packaging materials is expected to be fully localized in the future. Jacob Arup Andersson highlighted that exports of products manufactured by Carlsberg Group in Azerbaijan recorded a significant increase in 2025. Satisfaction was expressed with the favorable conditions created in Azerbaijan for foreign investors. On January 20th, President Ilham Aliyev was interviewed by Euronews TV.
Hello and welcome to Eurasia Talks from Davos, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Azerbaijan's President, Mr. Ilham Aliyev. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to see you. As you join world leaders here in Davos, we are at this moment witnessing a fundamental reassessment of the existing international system. Now, you've warned about this shift before. How does your country engage with this changing world order? And what is your message to world leaders?
Well, actually, as you mentioned, we've been facing a situation when international law norms were not obligatory for all the actors of international community. Therefore, our strategic goal was to achieve results based on our national interest and with all respect to international law, do what we thought was right. Yeah. And everything what we've done, whether it's political development or restoration of our sovereignty and territorial integrity, was in line with international law and common values. So today, as you mentioned, international relations are entering the new era where it is not the rule of law, but the rule of strength is ruling the situation. We can see it in different parts of the world. Therefore, it once again signals that every country should base their strategy and policy on their potential, establish good relations with as many countries as possible, sure. First in your region and second on a global scale. And that's what Azerbaijan managed to achieve.
I want to congratulate you. I learned yesterday that you will be receiving the Zayed Humanitarian Award for all of your efforts. And obviously, this brings me on to the next question. Amid the historic peace deal in Armenia, the South Caucasus is evolving fast in a global context, after decades of competing interests, influences, and shifting alliances. How do you assess the current balance between risk and opportunity in the region?
First of all, thank you for congratulations. It's a big honor for me to receive this prestigious award. Especially it bears the name of the founder of UAE, late Sheikh Zayed. Mm-hmm. And I consider it as an appreciation of our efforts to establish peace in the Caucasus after more than 30 years of bloodshed, conflict, and wars. Mm-hmm. Today, Southern Caucasus also enters a new stage of development. We live in peace only for 5-6 months. Mm-hmm. We are learning to do it. We never lived in peace in all our independent history. And it's a special feeling. And of course, it's a great opportunity. Today, relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan are already evolving into a cooperation. Yeah. We lifted all the restrictions on cargo transportation to Armenia. Moreover, we started to supply critical commodities to Armenia, primarily oil products, which the country is largely dependent on. And it's a win-win situation. So I think that by joint efforts of Armenia and Azerbaijan, including the civil society, we will achieve not long-lasting peace, but peace forever in the Caucasus. This is our goal.
We hope so, yes. With Iran as your neighbor, I want to also mention, how is Azerbaijan engaging with the evolving crisis that we are seeing there? And what is your assessment of its impact of stability across Eurasia, also including the energy markets?
Every country, including Azerbaijan, should think about stability around its borders, beyond its borders. With respect to Azerbaijan, we do not have any potential risks inside the country. All the potential risks can come from outside.
Okay.
Therefore, for us, stability in our neighborhood is something which we always think about, and we've been concerned about some destabilization in Iran. And for us, stability, predictability, and peace in the region is the biggest asset. We suffered from occupation, from war, from losing thousands of victims.
Yeah.
And today, stability and security for every country is the only way to succeed. With respect to energy market, as you see today, oil price is stable. It is at the appropriate level, at least for Azerbaijan. And it demonstrates that situation in Iran, situation in Venezuela, and in other parts of the world do not seriously influence the price of oil. And this is a good sign, because producers and consumers, they need to know the predictability of the situation in order to plan their future. So I hope that situation in the Southern Caucasus and around it will not deteriorate. This is what we really wish to see. And I hope that every country will contribute to regional stability and security.
Where do you feel that the South Caucasus sit in terms of being an emerging force in the energy sector and moving in towards the EU as well?
With respect to energy sector, Azerbaijan is the only country in the Southern Caucasus which has energy resources and exports them to other countries of the Southern Caucasus, import energy resources from Azerbaijan. Georgia for many years, and now Armenia. And with respect to Europe and European Union, our energy cooperation is growing.
Yes.
We already supply natural gas to 16 countries, and 10 of them are members of European Union. So by this coverage, by geographical coverage of supply of pipeline gas, Azerbaijan is #1 in the world. We have resources, we have transportation system, modern pipelines. We have good relations with many European countries. And for them, it's a way to strengthen the energy security. For us, it's opportunity to sell our resources on the premium market. Though we sell gas not only in Europe, we started also to export gas to Syria recently.
Yes.
But European market, of course, is the best from point of view of prices.
How do you feel and how do you react to this constant criticism of Azerbaijan from the EU Parliament?
Well, we do not react any longer.
Very diplomatic answer.
Yeah, we stopped reacting. We did react in the past. But of course, it's so obvious that this biased situation to Azerbaijan is generated by special lobbying groups, by special forces, which cannot digest Azerbaijan's independent policy. So we actually, for many years, already stopped any cooperation with European Parliament and also with the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. We cooperate with European Commission, and for us, it is enough. But I think European Parliament puts itself in a very awkward situation, accusing us of what we have never done, including so-called our aggressive position towards Armenia, while Armenia itself appreciates the relationship with Azerbaijan, and last August the peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan was initialed in White House. So I hope that members of European Parliament will find the courage to reconsider their unfair policy towards Azerbaijan.
Mr. President, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us on Euronews this morning.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
The head of state attended the event titled Azerbaijan Executive Breakfast and addressed the questions of business delegates representing different countries on January 20th. On January 20th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Masroor Barzani, Prime Minister of the Kurdistan region of Iraq.
Masroor Barzani passed on greetings of Nichirvan Barzani, head of the Kurdistan region of Iraq, to President Ilham Aliyev. Expressing gratitude for the greetings, the head of state asked that his own greetings be conveyed to Nichirvan Barzani. During the conversation, they fondly recalled Masroor Barzani's visits to Azerbaijan and his previous meetings with President Ilham Aliyev. They exchanged views on the prospects for economic, trade, cultural and humanitarian ties and discussed matters of mutual interest.
The head of state also met with President of the Republic of Finland, Alexander Stubb.
During the conversation, the presidents of Azerbaijan and Finland fondly recalled their previous meetings, noting that those encounters had featured productive discussions on developing relations between the two countries. Both leaders exchanged views on regional issues and touched upon the prospects for cooperation between Azerbaijan and the member states of the Nordic-Baltic Aid Group. At the same time, they highlighted the prospects of Azerbaijan-European Union relations.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Jamie Dimon, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of JP Morgan, one of the world's leading global financial institutions based in the United States, in Davos on January 20th.
The head of state emphasized the importance of the existing cooperation between the State Oil Fund of the Republic of Azerbaijan, other Azerbaijani entities, and JP Morgan, noting that this partnership is long-term in nature and based on mutual trust. Jamie Dimon highly praised Azerbaijan's position as a reliable partner in international financial markets, stating that the country maintains a stable investment environment and consistently implements sound financial policies. He noted that JP Morgan attached special importance to long-term cooperation with so fast, underscoring that this partnership rests on solid institutional foundations and expressing the company's interest in further deepening cooperation. During the meeting, the company's long-standing cooperation in financing SOCAR's activities was positively highlighted and views were exchanged on future projects related to expanding the partnership between JP Morgan and SOCAR. The sides also exchanged views on Azerbaijan's engagement of JP Morgan to help attract investment in U.S. energy sector, the current situation in global financial markets, the international investment environment, and macroeconomic challenges. Discussions further covered emerging opportunities for institutional investors amid global economic processes, as well as prospects for long-term cooperation. JP Morgan, which manages assets exceeding $4 trillion, operates in the banking, investment, and asset management sectors. With a history spanning more than 200 years, the company ranks among the world's largest and most diversified financial institutions.
On January 20th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Odile Renaud-Bassot, President of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos.
During the conversation, the sides expressed satisfaction with the established cooperation between Azerbaijan and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, noting a number of successful projects implemented by the bank in the country. In this context, reference was made to various projects carried out by the EBRD in several regions of Azerbaijan, including Ganja and Sheki, particularly in the water sector. Discussions were also held on the financing of projects envisaged under the state program for the improvement of water supply, wastewater, and stormwater water systems in Baku in the Absheron Peninsula for 2026 to 2035. The meeting also featured an exchange of views on cooperation in the renewable energy sector, the modernization of Nakhchivan's transport system, and the financing of household waste management projects in various regions of the country. The conversation further touched upon the measures undertaken by the state to develop Azerbaijan's banking sector, promote entrepreneurship, and create an effective investment environment for local and foreign business people.
As part of the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, a panel session titled Defining Eurasia's Economic Identity was held. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the event. On January 20th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met in Davos with Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, one of the world's leading asset management firms, and Adebayo Ogunlesi, founding partner and Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Global Infrastructure Partners, a company within the BlackRock Group. The conversation focused on the current status and prospects for cooperation between the State Oil Fund of the Republic of Azerbaijan and BlackRock, as well as potential investment opportunities in Azerbaijan's infrastructure sector. As part of the head of state's visit to Davos, emphasis was placed on the significance of signing a memorandum of intent for long-term cooperation between SOFAS, BlackRock, and its subsidiary Global Infrastructure Partners, a global infrastructure investment management firm. The document envisages continuing the existing partnership within a long-term strategic framework and exploring potential investment opportunities in Azerbaijan under an international infrastructure investment platform. Under the Memorandum of Intent, SOFAS plans to consider capital commitments of up to $1.5 billion over the next 3 to 4 years into infrastructure funds managed by GIP and joint investment opportunities. Within the cooperation framework, assessments will be conducted of potential investment prospects in Azerbaijan for data centers and infrastructure serving regional cloud and artificial intelligence demand, as well as partnership opportunities in the airport infrastructure sector, taking into account GIP's operational and management expertise. Evaluating investment opportunities in infrastructure assets in Azerbaijan or related to the country is one of the key directions of the cooperation. The Memorandum of Intent will contribute to strengthening SOFA's position in the global investment ecosystem, further expanding cooperation with international partners, and forming long-term investment opportunities in Azerbaijan's strategically important infrastructure sectors. At the conclusion of the meeting, a ceremony for the exchange of the Memorandum of Intent was held with the participation of the President of Azerbaijan. On January 20th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met in Davos with Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar. The Prime Minister conveyed the greetings of the Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Amir of the State of Qatar, to the head of state. President Ilham Aliyev expressed gratitude for the greetings and asked that his own regards be conveyed to the Emir of Qatar. During the meeting, they hailed the current level of relations between the two countries. They emphasized that there is broad potential for further development of cooperation across multiple areas, including the economic and trade spheres. Both sides expressed confidence that the close ties between Azerbaijan and Qatar will continue to strengthen in the future. The successful cooperation between the two countries in restoring Syria's energy supply through the delivery of Azerbaijani gas by SOCAR was highlighted. The conversation included an exchange of views on issues of mutual interest. On January 21st, President Ilham Aliyev met with Conor Teskey, President of Brookfield Asset Management, in Davos. The meeting included an exchange of views on investment attractive sectors and potential projects in Azerbaijan within the framework of cooperation with the State Oil Fund of the Republic of Azerbaijan, taking into account Brookfield Asset Management's global investment activities focused on real assets. As part of the meeting, a protocol of intent on long-term strategic cooperation was signed between SOFAS and Brookfield Asset Management. The document aims to institutionalize and deepen existing strategic relations, expanding the fund's access to reputable global investment platforms. Furthermore, the partnership includes plans to evaluate potential capital investments by SOFAS of up to $1.4 billion over the next 3 to 4 years into funds and joint investment projects managed by Brookfield. As part of this cooperation, the parties intend to explore opportunities in key sectors within Azerbaijan with high investment potential, including energy transition and storage, renewable energy, digital infrastructure, and other areas. The head of our state met with Prime Minister of the Czech Republic, Andrej Babiš. During the conversation, they emphasized that there are excellent opportunities to expand cooperation between the two countries across a wide range of areas, including political, economic, energy, mechanical engineering, transport, and other fields. The importance of mutual visits at various levels in deepening bilateral relations was also highlighted. The President of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of the Czech Republic exchanged views on the prospects of their relations, future contacts, and other issues of mutual interest. Prime Minister Andrej Babiš invited President Ilham Aliyev to an official visit to the Czech Republic. In response, the head of state invited the Prime Minister of the Czech Republic to pay an official visit to Azerbaijan. Both leaders accepted the invitations. President Ilham Aliyev met with Adrian MacDonald, President for Europe, Middle East and Africa of Dell Technologies, one of the world's leading U.S. IT corporations. The conversation highlighted Azerbaijan's favorable investment climate, which remains highly attractive to foreign investors. The meeting touched upon Dell Technologies' ongoing operations in Azerbaijan, specifically noting the establishment of a supercomputer center in the country with the company's involvement. They exchanged views on utilizing the center's resources for applications in artificial intelligence and advanced decision-making systems. The discussions also covered cooperation opportunities in the development and modernization of IT infrastructure, networking equipment, data centers, and cloud infrastructure projects, including the design and implementation of advanced data centers. The head of our state met with President of the State of Israel, Isaac Herzog, in Davos on January 21st. During the conversation, they recalled President Isaac Herzog's visits to Azerbaijan and his meetings with the head of state. The successful development of Azerbaijan-Israel relations across various fields was emphasized. They noted that there are excellent opportunities to expand cooperation in the economic, trade, energy, and other sectors. The presidents of Azerbaijan and Israel discussed matters related to the prospects of cooperation. As part of the World Economic Forum, President of the United States, Donald Trump, delivered a special address in Davos on January 21st. This was followed by a panel session held with the participation of Donald Trump. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and his daughter, Leyla Aliyeva, participated in the event. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Marta Kos, European Commissioner for Enlargement, in Davos on January 21st. During the conversation, they fondly recalled Commissioner Marta Kos' visit to Azerbaijan last year, including her trip to Karabakh and her meeting with the head of state. Marta Kos stated that the large-scale reconstruction and development work underway in the territories liberated from the occupation had left a deep impression on her. The meeting included an exchange of views on the normalization of relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia and the advancement of the peace agenda. At the same time, cooperation in the areas of energy, regional transport connectivity, humanitarian demining, and other fields was discussed, with particular attention given to Azerbaijan's contribution to Europe's energy security. Marta Kos noted that the European Union stands ready to support Azerbaijan's efforts in the field of humanitarian demining, as well as projects related to the restoration of the Nakhchivan railway line. During the conversation, they emphasized that there are significant prospects for further expanding cooperation between Azerbaijan and the European Union across numerous areas, and views were exchanged in this regard. On January 21st, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Russell Hardy, Chief Executive Officer of Vitol, in Davos. During the meeting, information was provided on the oil strategy implemented in Azerbaijan, with emphasis placed on the country's role in ensuring Europe's energy security. In this context, it was highlighted that several European countries, including a number of EU member states, are supplied with Azerbaijani gas. The sides exchanged views on issues of cooperation between Azerbaijan and the company. Vitol, headquartered in Rotterdam, is one of the world's leading oil trading companies. Founded in 1966, the Vitol Group ranks among the top 3 global crude oil brokerage firms. A signing ceremony for the Board of Peace Charter was held in Davos. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Aliyev, attended the event.
The President of the Republic of Azerbaijan.
President of the United States Donald Trump delivered a speech. Subsequently, President Ilham Aliyev, together with other participating heads of state and government, signed the Board of Peace Charter.
Thank you.
President Ilham Aliyev held a meeting with President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, in Davos.
During the meeting, the leaders welcomed the development of bilateral relations across various fields following President Donald Trump's return to office. The sites highlighted President Donald Trump's historic role in facilitating agreements aimed at advancing the peace agenda between Azerbaijan and Armenia, reached in Washington on August 8 last year. President Ilham Aliyev spoke about the steps taken toward the normalization of relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Emphasizing that peace has already been established in the region, the president noted that this is reflected, among other things, in the development of trade relations between the two countries. In this regard, he pointed to the export of Azerbaijani oil products to Armenia, as well as the transit of imported grain to Armenia through Azerbaijani territory. The head of state also underscored the importance of the Zangezur corridor, including the TRIP project in enhancing regional connectivity. During the discussion, the significance of the Board of Peace established under the chairmanship of the U.S. President was also noted. The role of this body in strengthening peace in the Middle East and contributing to the resolution of global conflicts was emphasized. Azerbaijan's invitation to join the Board of Peace as a founding member state was described as a clear reflection of the Azerbaijan-U.S. strategic partnership and Azerbaijan's contribution to promoting peace on a global scale. The presidents also exchanged views on the future prospects of bilateral relations, stressing the importance of reciprocal visits and contacts at various levels and further deepening cooperation.
On January 9th, President Ilham Aliyev received Mohammed Abdel Salam, Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders, and members of the Judging Committee of the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity, former President of the European Council, Charles Michel, and former Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki Mahamat. The delegation informed the President that the 2026 Zayed Award for Human Fraternity will be presented to him in recognition of his efforts to achieve peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia. They announced that the solemn award ceremony will take place on February 4th in the capital of the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, and expressed their honor in personally handing the invitation letter to President Ilham Aliyev to attend the event as a guest of honor. It was noted that after studying all peace models worldwide last year, the judging committee decided that the peace agreement model between Azerbaijan and Armenia constitutes an excellent example that can be applied in other regions affected by conflict and war. During the meeting, Mohammed Abdel Salam, Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders, and members of the judging committee, Charles Michel and Moussa Faki, underlined that the judging committee and the entire world highly appreciate President Ilham Aliyev's work in achieving success toward a peace agreement which serves as a source of inspiration for all and is a magnificent example of peace for conflict zones around the world. They pointed out that the head of Azerbaijani state demonstrated to the whole world and the peoples of the region what peace and courage truly mean and what it is to move forward and establish peace and stability. Expressing his gratitude to the judging committee for their kind words, the invitation and the high appreciation of Azerbaijan's efforts to establish peace in the region, the head of state touched upon the importance of peace for regional stability and prosperity. The head of state noted that Azerbaijan had been living in peace for only 5 years and stressed that in recent months peace has already shifted to a practical plane, including in the field of trade. In this context, President Ilham Aliyev highlighted the historic significance of the agreements reached on the peace agenda during the Washington meeting on August 8, 2025, and highly appreciated the efforts of the U.S. President Donald Trump in this regard. During the conversation, the sides exchanged views on issues of mutual interest. That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.